The Honorable Member Chepkonga.
Mr. Speaker.
Chepkonga and Chonga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My mind started with CH and it was clear. Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is my first time to speak to this motion, and I'd like to take this opportunity first to congratulate you for your worthy election as a Speaker of this House. Two, I'd like to thank the people of Ainapkoi for electing me as their Member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, there's been an attempt to persuade you and convince you to believe the wrong facts. In fact, Mr. Speaker, papers have been tabled in this House. You have been told about the election of the majority leader from the Azimio side. You know, Standing Order number 91 requires that you must be correct in the information you provide to this House. And you do not redact. This is not an ICC process, Mr. Speaker, where you redact certain information. The Azimio group, the Azimio coalition group, Mr. Speaker, must include the minutes. And they know this. When you are being elected as a Member of Parliament, you are just not elected by just any other person. There's a register of members in that polling station. And when you are declared as a Member of Parliament, there is a register which shows that these members of Parliament, these voters participated in the election. Mr. Speaker, you have not been shown anything. They have been trying to convince you, you're not trying to hide facts here. You know, under some cloud here, Mr. Speaker. You know, you have heard Honorable Cheng, my very good friend. What he has just told you, he participated in the PG of Kenya Kwanza. And you are being told that it's the same people who elected Opiyo Wandayi as the majority leader. Now, I don't know whether it's split into two, so that we had half of Honorable David Ochieng in Azimio, and then the other one in Kenya Kwanza, Mr. Speaker. You know, that is the reason why I'm inviting you, Mr. Speaker, to consider the document that was tabled here as I have information. It is not complete, it's not factual. They need to provide the people who participated in electing the majority leader. This was not a nomination. The standing order is very clear. The election, Mr. Speaker. And there's nothing skipping around on this matter. You must be faithful to the law. The second thing, Mr. Speaker, I have just had an opportunity to have a cursory look on the coalition agreement of Azimio. In fact, I would like to invite you to consider on page 11 that the members, it has already been tabled. I have just had an opportunity of going through, I've been given from the table office. I will read for you, because you are the one who provided. Article 12 of the Code of Conduct, Mr. Speaker. It says members of the coalition partners shall abide by the provisions of Article 10 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I would like to invite you to consider Article 10 of the Constitution, what it says. Article 10 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, says they will abide by the national values and principles of good governance, which includes human dignity, equality, and human rights, transparency and equality.
Order. Before you quote in extenso, I've been looking at this document tabled by the Honorable Junet. Having gone through it very carefully, it does not meet the test of a required legal document. It is not, some pages are initial, some are signed, some are blank. Areas where you required two signatures of certain political parties, there's only one signature. Other required signatories as outlined on the document, such as page 28, are blank, and others on page 27 have the same fate, others on page 29, same. So I want to direct and rule that this document is inadmissible, and you shall make no reference to it.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, that in fact the document that was tabled was worthless. Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, Honorable Chepkonga, and going to the future, Honorable Junet, if you bring a copy of a document, try and authenticate it so that it can carry the color and force of law.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for rescuing us from what Honorable Ambai has sought to put us into. Mr. Speaker, I would like to invite you also, and you have been invited, to consider Article 36 of the Constitution on freedom of association and 38 on the freedom on the political rights. I don't know what is wrong with the Constitution.
We can't
Honorable
debate
Mohammed has
spoken. It is expunged from the record, so we can't debate it.
You cannot. It's not. You cannot have a point of order against the Speaker. Where are you coming from? Mr. Speaker, I'd like to invite you to consider the two articles that I've mentioned, together with Article 25. You have heard Honorable Cheng saying that he has moved out of that political party, Mr. Speaker. Article 25 of the Constitution protects and it outlaws slavery and servitude, Mr. Speaker. You know, you cannot come here and tell us that you want Mr. Honorable Cheng to be your slave or you put him in servitude, Mr. Speaker. That is outlawed in the Constitution. And so that argument in the first instance should not even be pursued in this House, Mr. Speaker. In fact, the person who is doing it is shame on you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The other one, Mr. Speaker, that I would like to invite you, except that there's nothing unparliamentary about English language. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you have been, except that now you have expunged this, so there's nothing for me to speak to about this Azimio. So, Mr. Speaker, with those very few remarks, in light of the fact that you have expunged it, it cannot be considered in this House. Declare Kenya Kwanza as providing the majority leader. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I've given, yes, Honorable Junet.
Mr. Speaker.